Hey, beautiful creatives. Welcome to Life by Design, the podcast. Thanks for joining me, your host, Nicki Traikos. I'm an artist, letterer, instructor, and creative business owner. I started and built Life by Design from home while raising a family and learning how to juggle it all. This podcast is my way of pulling back the curtain and inviting you to step into my home studio so we can get candid about all things art, business, and life, so I can help you create a life that you design. Hello and welcome to episode number 2. I'm calling this one the prettier pancake. Stay with me here. As I was working on episode number 1 and getting some help with creating the page for the podcast, editing the podcast, and everything that we have to do sort of behind the scenes, I was likening it to making a batch of pancakes. So here's what I mean. If you've ever whipped up a batch of pancakes, for some reason, the first one's never really as golden as it should be, or maybe the shape is a little off. You think that it's ready to flip, and when you do, it's just this anemic pale color, and it ends up just going to the bottom of the pile. While the second pancake, it tends to be a little bit more golden. It fluffs up a little bit nicer. It seems to cook a bit faster. And then it just seems like all the pancakes get better and better as they get fried up to a yummy golden brown. And that first pancake, for some reason, never works out. So I'm going to say that this first episode, it was a good one. We got it out of our system. We learned how to edit, how to upload it, how to create a page for it. We had a little bit of difficulties, but I'm telling you, this one, episode number 2, is going to be like that second pancake that you add to the pile. It's going to be like a beautiful stack of pancakes by the end. Okay, anyway, do you feel like having pancakes now? I certainly do. So let's see how this episode goes. And like I said, I bet you each one will get better and better with time and as we practice. So what are we chatting about today? We are going to talk about creativity. What is creativity? How do we find it? And how do we get into that joy vibe that you feel when you're connected to it? I'm going to start with the definition at the purest form of creativity, which is, according to the Google, it's the use of imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. But when I was doing some digging, because I really wanted to explain what creativity meant to me, and looking at the examples of it, again, using Google. So words like innovation came up, and imagination, artistry, expressiveness. So how I interpreted that was basically it's your individual style and how you express your ideas. It's how you live and the personality that you put into the doing and the creating. Okay, so I'm going to give you some important tips here. Stay with me. So let's think about this for a second. How do we express our creativity on a daily basis? I'm going to walk you through what I'm hoping is like a common day in the life of for most of you. If you're anything like me, I'm sure you'll relate at some point. So think about this. You wake up, you walk into the kitchen, you hit the coffee maker or an espresso or your French press, however you make your morning coffee. And if you don't drink coffee, it might be tea. Whatever it is that you reach for in the morning that kind of helps your eyes open up a little bit. And you want to put it in your favorite mug, right? Please tell me you have a favorite mug. We have far too many of them, but I do have a favorite mug that I reach for every single morning. So you then sit on the couch that you picked at the store and you stare off into the distance, looking at the wall that's in front of you where a piece of art that you hung is hanging. Okay, can you imagine it? You then make a yummy breakfast. Maybe it's that stack of pancakes. We're seriously going to have to make some pancakes for dinner tonight. Then you serve it up to your family with some berries or a side of bacon, whatever you like to serve with your pancakes. Everything from the forks that you choose to the plates to the napkins that you use. These are all things that we have around us that we use our creativity to express. Even when you get dressed for the day, your outfit, your makeup, accessories, those are all ways that you express your creativity. They make you feel happy, they make you feel confident and full of joy. I'm hoping so anyway. That's how we should be living our day-to-day if we're not. And if you're saving things for a special event, then I'm going to urge you to use them every single day. Like we use our wedding china every day. And can I tell you, we haven't even broken a single dish. We've been married for like 20 something years now. So how does it make you feel when you use your favorite mug to drink that first cup of coffee in? Pure joy, I bet. What if you reach for something that was less than, like maybe it was just a shitty mug that you found in the back of the cupboard that was too small for a nice big helping of your first cup of coffee, or maybe your fingers don't quite fit into the loop. You know what I'm talking about? Like sometimes I'll pick up a mug and I want to put in 2 fingers in that handle, but they don't really fit. Would you be feeling the same joy? I know I wouldn't. So I'm hoping your answer is no. You drink the coffee because, well, it's coffee, but it wouldn't give you that same boost of joy and comfort and enjoyment if you did reach for that perfect mug that's your favorite. So, tip number 1, if you aren't drinking your first cup of coffee from your favorite mug, I will insist that you find a mug that you love and start each day drinking from it. Start noticing what makes you feel that pure joy in the simplest creative forms. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Yes, buy the mug, steal the mug from your partner. Just pick a mug. I don't care, but declare that mug and love on that mug and enjoy your first cup of coffee. Okay, so we're going to start intentionally looking for things that we can focus on that are our way of expressing our creativity. So look around your home, look at your clothes, look at your makeup drawer. What are they telling you? How do they make you feel? So what I want to urge you to do, maybe do this tomorrow. Don't throw on a pair of yoga pants and top just because you need to get dressed in the morning. Creatively choose and express you. See how that makes you feel and do it again. Because once you do, you'll find ways that you can easily repeat that in your daily life and even around your home. And that in itself is going to spark more creativity. Okay, so it's forcing us to slow down. It's forcing us to be more intentional with the choices that we make around us, and very simply. Okay, so just to recap, tip number 1, look around you and recognize all the ways that you express your creativity in daily life. Look at how you decorate, how you cook, maybe even how you write. Like writing a simple email to you might be something that you do with a bit of flair. Maybe you have a sense of humor that you like to add to your email messages or even text messages. Okay, think about things that your friends compliment you on. Maybe you host amazing gatherings and you put together a yummy charcuterie board. What are the ways that you express creativity that make you feel good, that fills you up with joy? Okay, I want you to think about that. So I'm about to lay down tip number 2. So now you're thinking, but Nicki, I want to be more creative. I want to use my hands and I want to express my artistic side. And even though I'm not artistic, I've always dreamed of being artistic and I want to create and paint and letter or play a musical instrument or write novels or take beautiful Instagram photos. I feel you. I feel you. There's so many ways that we can express our creative side and do something with our hands. Well, of course you don't. You haven't tried anything yet. You've been too busy managing life, dreaming about being artistic, not spending any time doing it. Am I right? I know I am because I was that person on and off for years until I was 40 and exactly 40. I don't want that for you. I want you to find ways to be more intentionally creative today. Okay. So what I want you to do now is I want you to pull out a pretty journal and your favorite pen and always have things around you that you love. So if it's just a meh journal, don't spend your money on it. I want you to get a journal that feels good in your hands. When you open it up, you love the paper, and then I want you to grab a pen that you like to write with. Okay, so again, be intentional with what you are doing and what you have around you, because when you do, it'll inspire you to be more creative. It will boost your energy and it'll make you feel good, just simply good. Okay, so take out that journal and ask yourself this question. If money were no object and I had all of the time in the world for me, I would spend my time doing blank. Okay? I'm going to want you to pause for a second. Pause this episode if you have to. I'm going to repeat it again. If money were no object and I had all of the time in the world for me, I would spend my time doing, what is it? Let the words and ideas flow. Okay, I want you to be really intentional here. This is exactly the process I used to decide to start Life I Design. I sat down with pen and paper and I thought to myself, if I could spend all of my days doing this one thing. And if money were no object, if I didn't have responsibilities, if it was just one thing that I had to spend my time on, what would it be? So I dreamt of painting, drawing. I dreamt of creating art and selling art to people who needed pretty art to hang in their house because they wanted to express their creativity through decorating their home. It brought me pure joy. Just even thinking about it, I'm most excited when I am lost in my paints, my fingers are dirty, I am at a canvas, and it is just flowing. Okay? I would do it all the time. If I had all the money in the world, if I had all the time in the world, I would be painting, drawing, lettering, sketching until I couldn't do it any longer. Okay, so now if you don't have that level of passion for the creative expression that you are choosing, it's okay. This is where I'm going to encourage you to brainstorm and then try again. So this is tip number 3. Now you've put your favorite lipstick on, maybe even thrown on a few extra rings today. That's seriously my thing. And earrings. I tend to get piercings just so I can wear more earrings in a day. That, my friend, is another way of expressing creativity. Okay, so set yourself up to be in that creative mode. You've done your journal exercise, you've looked at your list, and now what I want you to do is scan it. Okay, scan it, and I want you to stop at the one that makes you feel a charge of excitement. Even if it kind of makes you feel scary, when you get that little feeling in your gut, that, my friend, is the one that I want you to start with. So let's say, for instance, you've scanned your list and pottery is something that comes up. I'm going to use that example because it's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never taken a class. So I need to put that one on my list. Okay, so you want to try pottery. Maybe you want to make your favorite mug because you can't find one in the store that's quite right, and you really want to have that first cup of coffee in a beautiful, fantastic, handcrafted mug. So you're going to take out your laptop and you are going to go to Google and type pottery classes near me. And the research begins. Maybe you'll even go on YouTube and you'll watch some videos on how to learn pottery. Or you'll go back to Google and you'll type how to make a mug out of pottery. Okay, just start doing research and see what opportunities exist around you. Find opportunities that fit your comfort zone, that fit your budget, that fit your time. I'm a huge fan of online classes, but that doesn't have to be the only choice. Okay, once you set the intention and you let the universe know, universe, I want to try my hand at pottery, I'm going to look for opportunities. They will present themselves once you dig around to find out more information. Okay, then when you find that class or workshop or whatever you end up signing up for, you get your hands dirty, you make your mistake, you make your first mug, you're going to make mistakes. Okay, it's not going to come out 100% beautiful the first time around. Maybe you bring it home and it kind of sits funny. It maybe leans to the side. But as you sip your morning cup of coffee, you're going to use that mug and think, damn, I made that mug. I tried it. It didn't hurt me. It wasn't scary. And maybe you'll actually like the process. So maybe it'll inspire you to grab a friend and take another class. Or maybe the conversation you have that you when you go to work the next day with your coworkers, maybe that conversation is around, hey, I took this pottery class and it was so much fun. We laughed a lot because clay was kind of flying everywhere. And even though I made this mug that doesn't really sit right, I had so much fun being creative and doing something with my hands. And you'll be surprised at how many people around you are just like you. They're looking for ways to express their creative side too, to do something fun that ignites them, that makes them feel joy. And then I want you to think about it. Think about doing something with your friends and think about how much better that experience will be too if you're kind of having these experiences and messing it up together. So I want you to look back at tip number 1. Okay, so I want you to go about your day and really pay attention to the ways that you express your creative side and the things that you do that light you up. So is it cooking a healthy meal from scratch for your loved ones? Or is it that you created this kick-ass PowerPoint presentation that you made for a meeting? Or maybe it's how you plan out your garden and plant it all out. You'll be amazed at the ways that you are creative when you start to identify them. It's like a snowball effect. Pointing out all the ways that you express your creativity, it'll be all around you. Our world is built on vision and creativity. Okay? Okay, tip number 2 was to explore this statement. If money were no object and I had all of the time in the world for me, I would spend my time doing blank. Okay, remember, I encourage you to grab a beautiful journal and journal it out. But wait, if you don't have a beautiful journal, No worries, I actually created one for you. Well, not a journal, but a PDF printout that you can use to write down a list of all the things. Print a copy or 50, I don't care. Just brain dump and write out all that you've dreamt of doing that are fun, creative, joy-filled, and scroll down to episode 2 to download your free copy. Lastly, tip number 3, pick the one thing that lights you up when you scan your list and start there. Decide in the moment to discover more about how you can learn that skill, that craft, express that art, or design whatever is on your list. You don't have to share it with anyone. All you have to do is start finding ways that you can express it or learn more about it, and most importantly, experience it. Then it's just a matter of opening yourself up to ways that you can be creative, be in a positively charged, joy-filled state, and grow from there. Before I leave you, I want you to know that it's okay if what you try doesn't stick. Meaning, if you pick something that you thought you would really love and did it and realized this isn't for you, then that's okay. I remember taking a jazz dance class with 4 of my closest girlfriends, and I actually hated it. I hated it. I don't like jazz. I felt really weird sliding around in my tights, doing moves that didn't feel right for my body. I'll never take jazz class again. And I actually love dancing, but jazz class was horrible. So I moved on to something I loved, and that was boxing class. That was more my thing. Okay, so just remember, finding your joy and expressing your creativity will mean something different for you. It'll be something different for everyone. Just follow your gut. If only we listen to our gut more. Okay, and let me know. Let me know how it's going or what you decided to try, and share your story with me. I would love to hear it. Okay, friends, that's a wrap for episode number 2. Remember to visit lifeidesign.com/podcast and look for the show notes for episode 2 for your free and beautiful download. If you enjoyed this episode, please help spread the word and tell a friend. Maybe even rate it on your podcast listening app of choice. And do come back for more, because there's lots more of this straight talk to come. Thank you again for tuning in, and I am just building my beautiful stack of pancakes over here. I seriously think I'm going to make some for dinner tonight. Until next time, friend, stay